When you open a web page, dozens of discrete hardware and software processes trigger simultaneously. Applications generate data, and routers calculate global paths, while switches manage local delivery, and physical cables transmit raw electrical pulses. If engineers mixed these distinct systems into a single, unorganized structure, any change to one component, like updating a web browser, would require a complete redesign of the physical networking hardware. This lack of isolation makes the design chaotic and impossible to scale. To prevent the entire communication chain from breaking under its own complexity, networking requires a rigid architectural framework to isolate these responsibilities. That framework is the Open Systems Interconnection, or OSI model. As you see in this 7-tiered stack, it provides the structure to organize chaotic processes. The core principle is modularity. It divides network communication into 7 logical, isolated layers, each with strictly defined responsibilities. Understanding how these layers interact is a strict prerequisite for troubleshooting cloud computing environments and managing cybersecurity infrastructure. By isolating these responsibilities, engineers ensure that a failure in one layer, like a broken cable, can be addressed without needing to re-engineer the software applications at the top. This separation is what makes global interoperability between different vendors possible. We begin at the top with Layer 7, the application layer. This is the direct interface for user-facing software. Layer 7 does not send the data itself. Instead, it allows software like YouTube or Gmail to request network services, acting as the entry point. That data then drops to Layer 6, the presentation layer. Since different systems may use different internal formats, Layer 6 standardizes the data so the receiver can understand it. This layer handles format conversion, data compression, and TLS encryption, ensuring data is properly prepared and secured. Below that is Layer 5, the session layer. This tier acts as the conversation manager for the stack. When you join a Zoom call, your device must maintain a continuous relationship with the server. Layer 5 creates, maintains, and cleanly terminates this session. These top 3 layers focus entirely on preparing abstract software requests into structured, secured data blocks. Without layers 5 through 7, a network could still move raw bits physically, but receiving software would have no way to organize or interpret it. Next, the data drops into Layer 4, the transport layer. This tier determines the specific rules for how the data is delivered. At this layer, the system chooses between delivery quality and delivery speed. For file downloads, the TCP protocol ensures packets are received in the correct order with full error recovery. For live video, the UDP protocol prioritizes speed and low latency, allowing some data loss to keep the stream happening in real time. Once the transport rules are set, Layer 3, the network layer, takes over. Its mandate is to handle global packet movement between different networks. Layer 3 uses IP addressing, such as IPv4 or IPv6, to identify the logical destination of the packet. If you are sending data from a laptop to a server in Japan, Layer 3 determines the destination and calculates the most efficient path across several international networks to reach it. This is the layer where routers operate, constantly evaluating path logic to ensure packets find their destination. Layers 3 and 4 dictate how and where data travels conceptually, operating entirely independent of the specific physical cables that will eventually carry the signal. As we reach Layer 2, the data link layer, the focus shifts from global routing to localized delivery. The data block is now placed inside a frame. Layer 2 uses MAC addresses and local switches to move data within a single local network. While Layer 3 handles the overarching journey across the globe, Layer 2 handles the specific hops, like moving the data from your laptop to your local Wi-Fi router. Finally, the data reaches Layer 1, the physical layer. This tier converts all the logical data and wrappers from the layers above into raw physical signals that can move through infrastructure. These signals travel as electrical pulses through copper Ethernet, radio waves via Wi-Fi or 5G, or rapid pulses of light inside a fiber optic cable. The entire 7-layer architecture exists to ensure that when these physical pulses reach their destination, they can be reconstructed into meaningful data. To see the model in motion, let's trace a Netflix request. Here is the sender stack on the left and the receiver stack on the right. The process begins top left, as your browser generates the request at Layer 7. As the payload descends, it undergoes encapsulation. Each tier adds a wrapper with formatting, session, and transport instructions. Clearing layers 3 and 2, the data gains its IP and MAC addressing before converting into physical pulses at layer 1. These pulses cross the physical transmission bridge to the destination server. At the receiver, the process reverses. The server takes the raw signals at layer 1 and begins ascending the stack. As the data moves up, each layer on the receiving side strips away the specific wrapper added by its counterpart on the sender side. This symmetrical, layer-to-layer communication provides the consistency required for different technologies to exchange data reliably across the internet. In professional environments, this model acts as a map for troubleshooting modern infrastructure. When a website fails, engineers use these layers to isolate the problem. A layer 3 routing failure requires a different set of tools than a physical cable break at layer 1 or an application-level permission error at layer 7. It is important to remember that the OSI model is a logical framework, not a specific piece of hardware you'll find in a data center. Even as technologies evolve from cloud microservices to Kubernetes clusters, these systems still strictly follow the principles of layered communication. However, consider this final detail. While the OSI model is the standard for teaching, it is not the exact protocol suite running the internet. In practice, the internet operates on a slightly more streamlined version of this logic. By understanding the strict separations of the OSI model, you have the foundation needed to master the actual architecture used in production, the TCP/IP model.